Found out my wife was sleeping with her male BFF the whole time we were dating, because it helped her get to know me. Part 4. It's been 4 weeks since we got back from the trip. Everything, everywhere has seemingly imploded. Dom and Kate are getting a divorce. They've been together the longest of all of us couples and have a 10-year-old son. Dom took the revelation extremely hard. On top of them being together the longest, he had the longest courting period at 9 months. It's been a hard pill for him to swallow because he recalls they didn't really take the step to being intimate until he started to question whether he wanted to stay in the relationship. Now that he knows the truth, no matter what Kate tells him, he will always believe the time was so long because she didn't want to stop being with Ian. I sat down with Sean and had a few beers one night. We have been pretty good friends over the years, even if we only met through our wives. Sean said Sarah had been upfront with him. When they started dating, she said she wanted to wait at least 3 months before having sex, but also told him she would still be meeting with her FWB. Sean really liked her, but also informed her that he was only casually dating until he knew, and Sarah said she was fine with that as well. So unlike the rest of us adults, Sean was also getting his during this time. Granted, he was the only one of us gifted transparent choice. 2 weeks before the 3 months was up, and after a few double dates with Billy and Miranda, Sean realized he was falling for Sarah, and said he wanted her exclusively. She scrapped the 3-month minimum and they were intimate the first time that very night and have never looked back. Both made each other completely aware of the other's exploits during this period immediately. The honesty seems to have gone a long way, as Sean told me they did have a small fight, but it was only because Sarah thought they should have excused themselves from the whole campfire fiasco instead of chiming in at all. All in all, they are doing well as a couple. Thanks to Sean, I also have an update on Billy and Miranda. They are in the early stages of a reconciliation. Billy is obviously and justly having a difficult time. He feels that she cheated, and is using semantics to justify it. They dated for 6 months before going official. They have 3 kids under the age of 7, so they both feel like they have to try and make it work for the kids. Billy's biggest struggle is distinctly remembering dropping off Miranda and Sarah at Ian's on 2 separate occasions. Knowing she went out with him while having a threesome planned has him a shell of his former self. Apparently Miranda has tried to tell him that only one of those times did they do anything, and it wasn't really threesome, more like a reverse train. Again, semantics to justify. Sean tells me that Miranda is telling the truth, as Sarah was the other party in this and confirmed it wasn't a real 3-way, but honestly, does that really matter? Ian reached out to me to apologize. I told him to fuck himself and then blocked him. OD reached out as well. I guess my revelation was the last straw. We actually conversed quite a bit over the course of a week, even though we were only really friendly acquaintances before. Turns out Ian and OD have been on again off again for 15 years. While Ian portrays this laid-back, selfless image everywhere he goes, OD knows him to be extremely self-centered and manipulative. He often breaks up with OD for short periods of time, or says they're on a break, so he can do what he wants because he's not a cheater. Only to come crawling back once he's had his fun. Thinking back, OD realizes that at least 2 of these breaks coincide with these dating setups. However, OD feels the worst for tolerating it for so long and allowing Ian chance after chance. He says this was it. He's moving back to Santa Barbara and leaving Ian, in the cold-ass Midwest, behind for good. As for me and Liv, we had the longest conversation despite being exhausted upon returning from the hike. I told her up front I wasn't interested in arguing, or debating, or anything like that. I told her, tell me everything you want to tell me, I won't interrupt, I won't ask questions until you're done. Then I want the exact same courtesy. She agreed. It was all apologize and justify. She would admit it was wrong to do, then give a reason why it was okay. Or point to a positive outcome. She did express that she was very hurt and upset with how I went off at the campsite, but did acknowledge that Ian deserved just as much blame, since he wouldn't stop poking the bear. When she was done, she asked if I had any questions for her, and I said no. I then began. I told her our entire relationship is built on false pretenses. I acknowledged the logical part of my brain can see where she was coming from and why she tried the whole Ian FWB thing. Your 3 best friends did this and all landed great husbands before you. But on some level all 4 of you had to know it was wrong to start a relationship like this. I told her that it was extremely hurtful to know that she was sleeping with someone else, and I believe it slowed the natural progress of our relationship. It has fundamentally changed my memories of our early life together. I asked her, do you remember it about 4.5 months into our relationship we had that amazing day. We spent the whole day together. It ended with us back on my couch. We were kissing, your shirt was off, I was rubbing you over your shorts, it was getting pretty hot, and you stopped, you apologized, said you really wanted to, but just wasn't quite ready, wanted to be absolutely 100%. I said it was okay, gave you all the reassurances, you looked at me lovingly, gave me a passionate kiss before you left. I can only guess you left my place and went to Ian's. She sat there, tears rolling down her face. I said, am I right? She just nodded. I continued, I put that energy into you, you chose not to give it back to me, but to give it to someone else. I could maybe get over this if the thing with him had ended in the first or second month when we were more casual. But we were spending a lot of time together after that, and you kept it up with him all the way until the day before. You liked having us both, you did whatever mental gymnastics you needed to justify it to yourself. I told her this last part you may not even realize is actually the worst part of it all to me. Finding out that you were so much more adventurous and exciting with him is like a knife in the heart. It makes me feel like second best, like a retirement plan, settled for, that I'm just good enough. She interjected there and began telling me no, it's not like that, she loves me, he was just sex, it wasn't real, that's how it is when they don't matter, it's easier to be loose and wild then, and so on. I waited for her to finish, then just said, remember, we agreed it was my turn to talk. Afterwards, I said, I understand that's your point of view. But that is not my point of view. As your husband, I feel like it's my duty to give you the most and the best of my energy. My emotional energy, my physical energy, my mental energy, my sexual energy, and so on. I feel I have done that over these 8 years. I think you have given me your best in some areas, but I now know I haven't gotten your best in some also, and as a man I must admit that sexual energy is very important to me. To know that I wasn't worthy of all your sexual energy, that you didn't trust me with that, it's the deciding factor. I do not think I can come back from this, and intend to file for divorce. The scene got messy from there, and she began to cry heavy and beg, offer herself, plead with me to start over. I ended up removing myself from the situation. Later, she made a point that we are just in an emotional place right now and I need to give this some time. This did give me some pause. I agreed to her term that we give it 3 weeks. Like I said, it's been 4 now and my feelings haven't changed. We met with a mutual divorce lawyer who will represent us both. No kids involved, and we both want to drop the house, so it was a smooth initial meeting. She has been extremely depressed and so have I, but this is for the best. Sometimes things just don't work out.